All right. Welcome to another edition of the So You Want to Be Career Series. And y'all, we got some heavy hitters on here today, y'all. We talking about uh professionals in the world of engineering, y'all. And we were just having some conversation beforehand. And Lionel and Kyler, y'all say y'all kind of know each other. Like you look familiar.
Man, oh yeah, man. The
Yeah.
brother is a mover and shaker, man. So it's no surprise. I try to be in certain circles, man. So it would not be too much of a surprise that we cross paths, man. And the same with my sister Alandria as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, man, y'all may have to link up offline, but y'all are also frat brothers. So,
You didn't say that now.
yeah, see,
I ain't know. I ain't know. I
You
ain't want to
waited
pull
until we
that
went
card.
live to share that now.
yeah, oh,
That might be where I seen you.
I knew you from somewhere, good brother. I knew you from somewhere.
yeah, nah, but man, this
Oh yeah.
one, I appreciate each of you for jumping on. Man, we're gonna have a honest, transparent conversation about the world of engineering. Y'all, we got some students, some young people who are, some of them are making decisions about what they want to major in, right? They kind of figuring out, like, man, okay, what's my strengths? What's my weaknesses? What I like? Do we got a lot of math? Do we got a lot of science? They'll kind of knock us out sometimes. How long does it take? How much money is gonna make? But they're trying to figure out, what careers do they want to pursue? And engineering is one of those fields that a lot of students say, "Hey, I think I got what it takes." And then we got college students who already made the declaration. They already made their major, taking a few classes, probably had a few classes almost take them out, but they're still pushing on and hanging on by a thread. But we are going to highlight each of your experiences in the world of engineering. But before we get started, I first want to start off by thanking our sponsors. Yeah, we got some amazing sponsors, man. Carpenter Law, located right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Carpenter Law, thank you so much for your support. Transnetics, again, another local company here based in Cordova, just doing work worldwide. And then last but not least, V2 Media, clear, creative, and concise media that's also located right here in Memphis. Grateful for our sponsors for making this initiative happen. But let's talk about y'all because y'all are the stars of the show. Like y'all on the fly. We had people saying, "Man, okay, who these folks is? Who are they? Man, what they gonna talk about? What type of engineering are they doing?" So, for those who don't know, can you take a few minutes to introduce yourself?
Absolutely.
And
Sure.
anybody can go. Anybody can kick us
Oh,
off.
I can
Uh,
start us off. I'm Kyler Lesure. I got my bachelor's in civil engineering from Christian Brothers University. I'm a Jackson, Tennessee native. That's important to throw out there. Civil engineering is pretty broad. So I'm not in, civil has structural, you got water, you got all the other good stuff, transportation. But me personally, I work in land development, but I'm also a land surveyor. So that's my expertise area right now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I got to share on introducing myself. That's pretty much the gist of it.
All right.
All right, I'll go next. Hey, everybody, my name is Alandria Waller. I got my bachelor's and master's degree in engineering management from Christian Brothers University. Currently, I am a FES&P engineer, so that basically stands for FORCIA Excellent System and Productivity Engineer. So to make that all clear, I'm an industrial engineer. That's just it. So I work in automotive. I work out in the Nashville area, specifically Spring Hill, Tennessee. I do interiors. That's mainly my job. That's my expertise is basically industrial, continuous improvement, those type of things. Um, and that's what I do on a daily. So that's me.
awesome. Awesome. So, hello, everyone. My name is Lionel Davis. I'm a native of Little Rock, Arkansas. I graduated from the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville as a mechanical engineer, and I currently work for SiteLogic, We are an engineering and construction program management firm, and I'm a VP of business development. And so, fresh out of school, I decided that I wasn't going to be as technical. I had a lot to, ramble on about, and I've always used my mouthpiece, I say, as a tool and as something that could get me into doors. And so, in a lot of ways, I just found a home in sales. And so, I've been in engineering sales and now in a different capacity, but all within the realms of facilities and infrastructure, primarily serving the public sector. I'm glad to be here.
No, thank you all. And when we were setting up this panel, didn't realize that we had, man, the big Buccaneers in the building, man. Didn't realize we had CBU in the building, but it made sense. I'm also a CBU graduate as well. Got my MBA from CBU, so I
I'm
know.
outnumbered. I'm outnumbered.
So I know Christian Brothers University will be proud that they got some alumni giving back. And then of course we got my guy from Arkansas, and man, I do want to send my condolences.
Don't you start, man.
I do want to send my condolences. Uh, I'm a Florida boy, and some Gators, man. We just once the song take me through there, take me through there. We took them through there a little bit. So I'm sorry, Lionel. I hope we can still be friends. Thank you for still showing up. But man, it was a good game.
Man, it be your own folks, man. It's your own folks. That is crazy, man. Well, thank you, man. I'm still smelling the burnt bacon as we speak, but we got a dub the other day, so it feels a little bit better. But we'll see y'all in the tournament, man. Darius
Yeah.
Acuff not done with y'all, man. Not done.
Nah, for sure. Man, let's jump right into this. I know we got some students that are eager to hear from you all, but man, if y'all could just give people your background. Of course, we got a list of questions that were submitted by students. But one of the things that we like to start off is, what was your pathway to where you are now? Like, kind of give us some of your background from kind of what made you, how did you get exposed to engineering? What was your pathway? Like, was that your first major? Did you switch? And ultimately, like your different jobs that you've had that ultimately land where you are today. Anybody want to kick us off?
I'll start. So I started wanting to be in engineering when I was probably in middle school. My mom noticed I was interested into it, so she put me in a summer camp for programming, and that's when I first got introduced to programming and those type of things. So I was like, okay, I like it. I kept going, and then in high school, I did an internship where I was doing some software type of things, and then I did a little bit of cybersecurity. So, and I still liked it, and that's what made me first major in electrical engineering. So when I first started college, I majored in electrical engineering, and then it got a little rough. The math was not mathing for me. So, and the programming wasn't programming either. So, really the math is what got me the most. The programming wasn't bad, but I decided to just go ahead and change my major, and I changed to engineering management, which was really great for me because I didn't have to take any more math, and I still had to take other engineering courses, but it wasn't as bad as electrical, at least not for me. So during that time too, I was still doing internships. So I interned at Ducks Unlimited. I was at service desk. I interned at IBC Manufacturing. I interned also at Buckman Laboratories. I had several internships. I can't remember them all, but I had several internships, which basically landed me into what I'm doing now, especially obviously manufacturing, because I noticed I really like the manufacturing environment. It is a lot stricter than some other environments, but work environments, but that's what I like the most. And so that's what I stuck with. And right after I graduated from CBU with my bachelor's, I was offered the job to work in automotive. I've never worked in automotive, never had any experience. Just at first I thought it was fake mail because I got the message in LinkedIn and I was like, oh, they lying. But no, it was actually true. And so that's when I started working in automotive, and I've been in automotive for 6 years. It's different. It's a lot, you have to be very fluid. You have to be flexible because it changes all the time. So that's kind of like my backstory of how I got into engineering. I love it. I like my job. Of course, you have your days where you don't have good days, or sometimes, things get overwhelming. But overall, I would say I really enjoy my job. It's different. It's not the same thing all the time, especially in this industry with automotive. Things change all the time. Customer expectations change. What people want in their cars change. Everybody wants the bells and whistles, but they don't know what comes along with the bells and whistles, which is my job. So being able to connect what people use every day to my job is great, because when I see things being built in my plant, then I know somebody's going to use what we're building, because we build door panels. So somebody's going to use the door panel at some point, and then I'm going to feel guilty if something happens to them, because we missed something, we missed a step, we missed, I don't know, just different things can happen. So it's very important for me to put those two things together, putting everyday life and a vehicle that you use every day together. So that's my background of how I got to here. Yeah.
Love that. Love that. I guess I'll go in next. So my background, did not have any family members, anyone that I really knew that was an engineer of any kind. And about in eighth grade, somebody had put on the board, or I say somebody, it was actually my eighth grade social studies teacher, Coach Norton. He also taught jujitsu. Real funny guy. But on the board, he put these different disciplines up and the careers and the pay right next to him. And he didn't have like doctors, lawyers, some of those things, and entrepreneur. But at the top of that list was engineering. And around that time, I had a harsh, I would say early life crisis in eighth grade that, hey, man, probably not going to make it to the NBA or the NFL, any of those little things. So it's like, if I don't make it there, I'm going to go be an engineer, because it looked like they make some good money. And shortly thereafter, did I ask my mom and some peers and things like, what did that actually look like? Landed on mechanical engineering because I'm a tinkerer. Like, I enjoy putting things together, enjoy taking them apart, knowing how they failed. And really, I say tinkerer, I like to destroy things too. As a little kid, I was cantankerous and things. So that led to my desire to get in mechanical engineering, and it was definitely a journey. It took me 5 years to finish. They say, roughly 4 on average, but it definitely took me the full 5, and largely because, I took my time. There were some classes that I had to drop, but, and there were times that I questioned myself even. But I had the community around me and those who I would say were struggling alongside me, supporting me, and we made our way through it slow, and steady, semester at a time. And so I would say that the pathway to engineering, it was bumpy. It was something that was definitely challenging, but by no means is it insurmountable. Is it no means something that you cannot achieve. I'd say if you have the desire and you have the will and you have the faith, which is definitely something foundational for me. I believe that it definitely is something that can be achieved. Now, the toughness and the adversity is supposed to mold you and build you into a better person. And I'm grateful that I stuck it through.
Well, compared to y'all, my pathway is a little unconventional. But for me, engineering was never in my plans. At least if I'm thinking about it right, dating back to high school. I was in a STEM program at Lane College for a summer where I kind of took a liking to math. So I wanted to be an actuary. Why did I want to be an actuary? I see how much money they made. Then I was good at math. So that's really why I wanted to do it. But then, like in high school, we had a really good program for computer science, and I got really good at coding. So I did some apps in high school. I did a couple websites. Did a couple of competitions for like Skills USA, which was pretty cool. I wanted to do computer stuff, but then when I started applying to college and then, looking at the courses for that stuff, I'm like, yeah, I don't think this is for me, because I didn't have people around me. Like where I'm from, I didn't have any engineers or anybody that was in computer science. I was just kind of out here, just kind of moving along life, kind of making some decisions for myself. So when I got into CBU, I wanted to skate by. I went back to what I wanted to do when I was a freshman in high school. I wanted to do accounting. First thing, that was my first major, like accounting. That's what I wanted to do with CBU. But I went to this engineering, not this engineering. It was a scholarship competition, it was like this leadership scholarship thing. We had to go through all these different obstacles to figure out how you solve things, how you communicate, and all that good stuff. And one of my professors, when I got into school, he kind of pulled me to the side like on one of the breaks. And I guess he's seeing how I was operating and how I was kind of doing stuff in my head. And, I kind of thought different than a lot of people that was there. And he introduced the thought of civil engineering to me. And I'm like, all right, it's kind of cool. I guess I'll try. So that day I changed my major. Before school even started, I changed my major to civil engineering. You don't typically see people go from accounting or something like that to engineering. It's usually the other way around. So that's why it's kind of unconventional the way I did it. But got into engineering, and I'm pretty sure they stopped doing this a couple years after me because they seen the numbers kind of dwindle. But the first day in engineering, we had a quiz to stay in the major. It was a 5-question quiz. You had to finish in like 2 minutes. And it was really just like basic level math that if you didn't know this basic level math, you were going to struggle in the discipline of civil engineering because there's a lot of math in it. At least and the paradigm at CBU is a lot of math in it. But we had a lot of people that did not pass that exam, so we had people who had to go to different schools, different majors, all that good stuff. But that's on the academic side. That's kind of how it went on the academic side of it. It was a lot of math. It wasn't too crazy. But getting into the field of engineering, employment wise, something I did that was also kind of unconventional. I just kind of had a thought. I started emailing people and hitting up people on LinkedIn, like, hey, like you're doing something that I'm interested in. I'm in school for this. Could I possibly get a call with you or come visit you at your work and maybe shadow you? So I was doing a lot of free stuff. I went to go shadow people at the city of Memphis. I did some stuff for Shelby County. I went to what's it called? Tioga. A lot of stuff was through CBU's programs, is externship programs. So it's just free work, just going to shadow for a day. So I'm just, building up, I guess building up my name around Memphis, so I could, kind of, figure out how engineering worked and how they communicated. That worked really well for me because when I landed I was actually in SDS when this happened, but when I landed my first internship, it was actually through word of mouth. It wasn't posted. Nobody, like, they weren't even really looking for interns. They're just like, hey, this kid wants to do this. We want to develop him. That's kind of how it went. And it kind of went like that all through college. None of my internships were job postings. It was just word of mouth. Like I was talking to somebody, they knew I liked to do this. I told them this is what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to be. They connected to a person. They're like, hey, do you want a job? Boom. That's how it went. But I touched a lot of different areas in engineering. I had a structural engineering internship. I had 2 structural engineering internships. I had a land development internship. I also did a couple things for I did something. We had one through CBU. It was a small internship with the city of Memphis, dealing with MLG and W, and them switching their energy providers from TVA to whoever Arkansas uses. It was that kind of internship, but it was pretty cool. But same thing for my full-time job after I graduated. By word of mouth, there's no application. My now boss came to uh, my senior project class, and I kind of explained to him my senior project, like, hey, we like how you think, we're gonna hire you. And that's kind of how that went. That's how I got into engineering.
Man, look, hey, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, y'all dropping some gems and so many talking points, directions that we can go out the gate. Like, I'll start with you, Kylie. You just mentioned like you took the initiative to start emailing people. Hey, I like what you do. I'm interested in what you do. Can I get a call? Can I shadow? Like, students don't understand the power of, like, there's so many people that want to help you when you're a college student.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so many people that want to be a part of your journey. So I love how you said that. But then Lionel, you mentioned, man, taking a semester at a time. You know, taking it a semester at a time, and you said it took you, you were patient with it. You took 5 years to finish. You took some time. You dropped some classes, but you did all that to make sure that you could continue to keep that momentum. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times, people just gotta realize you just gotta finish. We just gotta help our students understand. Just finish. And like I'll give you this. I don't know if you know this, but now, when we first, probably when we was in school, they used to say 4 years was the how many years it take to graduate. Now
Yeah.
in 2026 it's 6 years. So look, hey,
Wow.
we was ahead of the curve. You know,
Hey,
you know,
innovative,
uh,
some might say.
innovate. And then
Yeah.
Alandria, one thing you were talking about was just the manufacturing piece, but even leaving Memphis. like leaving
Mm-hmm.
and going to Nashville, and then something, obviously being a female, a black female in a male dominated industry and role, like that probably we can have a whole conversation about that in itself.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
definitely as we go throughout this conversation, I want students to start thinking about when they hear parts of your journey, how can they apply for themselves? How can they take some of the talking points that you all are talking about and apply it for yourself? So I do want to lean back into something you mentioned, Kyler. Um, was like how did you secure that first internship or that full-time role? Um, like what did you have to do? I know you said you was word of mouth, but what does that look like, and how did you position yourself to be able to get that first opportunity? And then we'll pass that question to the rest of our panelists.
So I ended up, it was a few different phone calls. I did show up to a few different networking events where I met, the guy I interned for. And I, just kind of showed him I had some working knowledge of what he was already doing. So I had knowledge of AutoCAD already. I had knowledge about how things operated in engineering works. I told you, like I already talked to all these different other people, and I'm like, this is kind of I picked a direction I wanted to go. But hey, this is how I want to start out learning about engineering, and that's how I was morely on the engineering management, kind of side. Because I'm still interested in management, and I just showed that I knew that this is a path I wanted to go into. I knew I wanted to do entrepreneurial side of things because it was a startup company. So he took a risk on me, just like I took a risk on him. So you don't always have to go to the big, Fortune 500 companies or the big, government jobs. Sometimes them startup companies they give it. Which who I'm talking about. He's very big now here in Memphis, and that's really how it went. It's just a conversation.
Mm.
Man, man, I echo out, in terms of just like the actual opportunity that some of these smaller businesses afford you. Having come from like a Fortune 500 company and now working with a smaller firm, man, it is all the world's difference. I mean, it's nothing like gaining experience from both of those different places. I won't, knock you, but like how fast you're being thrusted into the realm of responsibility
Mhm.
is unlike anything else. And you'll learn so much. Like, so if you do pursue anything outside of the given role, like you have had the fire, been close to the fire, and that has, grown you, given you a lot of experience that will be easily transferable to other fields, other industries if you want to go out on your own, all of that. And I will say in Memphis, I will say it's like 270 some odd CEOs that are tied to the chamber, probably some that are not still tied to the chamber, but that speaks to different opportunities, small and large, that are in an abundance. And so I would say engineering, biasly, there's still even more so that you'll be able to go to, maybe not directly CEO, but there's still several things. And honestly, engineers, I would just say, they pay you as much as they do, not because you just come out of school so ready to do that particular role. They pay you because they believe that you showcased the ability to think critically about different
Mhm.
things, a variety of topics, a lot of different challenging circumstances that you've navigated well enough to earn that degree from that institution. So, yeah, probably took that in a
Yeah.
different direction. My bad. Go
That's
ahead,
good.
Laundry.
That's good. That's good.
No, but kind of to pick up back up on that, what Lionel was saying, my journey to when I graduated in 2020, so nobody was hiring. There was everything that I interviewed for was on a hiring freeze. So I was kind of stuck. And then this opportunity came, and this was a brand new program. This was a program, it was called Operations Development Program, brand new to the company. This is something they never done before, but they wanted to take a chance on fresh new college graduates to see could we withstand the trials that we went through. So for me, like that's exactly what happened for me. Like somebody took a chance on me and was like, we're gonna see what she does. Is she gonna be able to go through everything? And um it was difficult, like going from not having a huge amount of manufacturing experience to just being pushed in there and just you got to do it, figure it out. And then to move away from home, because, I had to move. I had to move from Memphis to Nashville. And it's a big difference cultural wise when you move from Memphis to Nashville. And not just that, it's just the fact that when I started my job, I had not a lot of experience. So I started off like as a material planner, and I did well in that. And they rotated me to a production supervisor. That was crazy because I had to manage people. I had to learn how to talk to people. I had to learn how to connect with people deeper than just surface level. And then I rotated one more time to what I do now, the industrial engineering side of things. And I love that the most, out of all three. And they let me stay in the industrial engineer position, which was great. But it took so much for me to get to this point to be able to, do the things that I do today. But that those 3 years of doing those three different jobs in a Fortune 500 company is hard, especially when you're the only Black female in the office. It was nobody else in there with me. I was by myself. I was the only Black person in the office for years. It wasn't until maybe 2 years ago that we started getting other people of color. And it's still, not an issue. It's still a struggle sometimes, but you have to just navigate it and stand firm on what you know and be confident in what you know. You can do this, do it. Don't allow other people or other strangers to, say you can't do this or you can't do that. That's what I try to tell people all the time. Like when I meet other females, especially females, nothing against the guys, but for other female engineers, it's hard because I don't see that often. I don't see another Black woman in engineering. So when I see them, it's like oh my goodness, it's an embrace because she give me a look and I'm giving her the same look like, I understand what you're talking about, girl. Been there, been there, done that.
I can't remotely say that I know exactly what that experience is like. It's definitely kind of a double layer to that. That I'm, got the Black, but the female element, especially in this industry, definitely makes it a little bit different. But I will speak to just as a Black person, and I'm sure Alandria would agree with this. But there's a lot of power in that, and us owning what is the space to showcase that we do belong. I'm not stepping in here and questioning whether or not I can fit or do or don't. Like, I'm here. We and no looking around. We ready to rock. Whatever gaps, quote unquote, are opportunities to showcase your leadership and how I can grow. Because I'm going to be the model, ideal person for whatever role. And you might even think differently about how you show up in your personal life. And that's between you and who you serve, but that is an opportunity that we have, and something that I would say is unique to this field. And Obama even spoke to that. Don't we belong? Don't let anyone make it feel as though you do not belong. I mean, there's obviously practices to be in line with culture and things of that nature. You're not going to just show up any old way in your swim trunks to the work office. So
Right.
just be mindful of that. But we belong for sure, and I know we'd all agree that there's a lot of power in owning that space once you get into it.
Yeah, no, definitely want to be able to walk into that office space with confidence, with self-efficacy, knowing that you can navigate. And that kind of leads me to my next question. Like y'all talked about the ability to think critically. A lot of times as engineers, like that may be one of the most important skill sets that they're looking for as an engineer. Can you, like, for a student who is in this space, like how do they, like, what does that look like and how do they develop that skill?
In my company, one of the things they do for us, or did for me, they put me in a position where they made me think. Or like I was like, for example, they would give me like a very small property, like a substation to grade. It's just a square concrete pad, just to grade it, just to figure out. They just kind of let me squirm a little bit and let me kind of do some research on my own, because you can learn a lot through YouTube. YouTube University. That's how I got through college. Same way you can get through your career. And their kind of thought process is try to figure it out on yourself first before you start, kind of asking a million questions, and it kind of take time away from them. Which they always were open to coming to my desk and showing me the ropes, just showing me how to use the software in a way that's advantageous to me. But they also kind of asked me open-ended questions that made me really think and how to figure out how to use specific manuals to do specific jobs.
Yeah, I think for me, just I got thrown into the fire really. Um, I was tasked with a project to work directly with the plant manager on a process, and I had no idea how to do this. This is the first time my manager was like, "Hey, you got to work with him. You got to figure it out. If you have questions, ask. But right now, I just need you to just figure it out, learn." And that experience was very interesting because, you know, the project was essential to running the plant. It wasn't just something small or anything. No, this was like labor management. How many people do I need in this whole plant? And I learned so much by myself. And then I had to start thinking, okay, so how can I move bodies around? How can I shift people? How can I shift processes? How can I shift work content? Like I'm taking the things that I already know and put them all together to see as a plant as a whole, how can I shift these people? How can I still keep them, but move the labor somewhere else? How can I move the content somewhere else? How can I change the machines around to make it more ergonomically great for these people so that stay working safe? They're not, just working just to be working. They are working safe. They're working effective, efficiently, and they're working timely. Those were the things that I had to think about. And so having that type of global thought process and breaking things down, asking questions afterwards, because you have to, that's another key component is communication. You have to communicate very well with people. And you have to think critically, but you have to ask the right questions too. That's part of critical thinking. I think that some people miss too. You have to ask the right questions. You can't just ask any type of question. You have to ask the right questions to get the right answer that you need. That was kind of the thing I struggled like with HR. I don't know anything about HR. Don't want to know much, but I had to know so I can know how to move labor and to still keep people happy, because I don't want to take away the job. I just want to, kind of eliminate unnecessary heads. And just that process of working with the plant manager and seeing how his everyday life is and how he has to think, it made me start thinking critically the same way he does. He's not just thinking about one aspect. He's thinking about how that one aspect is going to affect everything else behind it. So that's kind of the mindset that he kind of ingrained into me. And then now I use that for other people who are working with me. I'm like, okay, don't just ask the first question. I go through the 5 whys. Why? Why did you do this? Why did you do it this way? Why didn't you do it that way? Why didn't you do it? I go through the whole thing. So now I'm thinking, it's making me think, but it's also making me ask questions to myself to make sure I'm understanding what the end goal is too. Not just I want to complete this task. No, how is this going to influence the future as well?
Man. So Jeremy, just to clarify the question, could you kind of reiterate it once more?
Yeah, it was just like how do you the question was about the ability to think critically. Like what does that look like and how do you develop it?
Mm. So they spoken, I guess the way that I think about and I love the 5 whys that Alandria just went through. I think for any particular role, critical thinking obviously it definitely looks different to like actually execute whatever that job may be. But as a salesperson, I just can't help but think like, what is the usefulness of the role that you're occupying? And like how are you driving some sort of revenue, and the revenue does not always have to equate to like dollars or a purchase order of some kind. It could be the ability to produce the amount of units to exceed what production requirements may be. It could be a plethora of things, but the way that you achieve those things, they have so many, like it's so nuanced. Like the way that I learned and the way that I came up in my role as a salesperson, people are telling me like, yeah, you go call so and so, ask them if they have these needs, and then you move on if they say no, pretty much. And well, it's like, okay, well, what if I call them and just ask to get some time with them to learn more about them first and develop a relationship, And what you find out is thinking critically looks like, how can I achieve X goal in a more aligned way that just matches what my skill sets are? And so, like, there's a traditional model that you use in thinking critically. I'd say would be how you take that traditional and make it something even more efficient or effective to achieve whatever that goal may be. Because like my sales style is different from the next person, and it's different from the next person, and you want to pick up from all of these different people. But thinking critically is, I would say, first step is to be resourceful. You have to ask questions. You think that you know it, and even if you are like just the smartest in your circle, the smartest move then is to go find another circle to help sharpen you to be even smarter and propel you
Mhm.
forward. And so thinking critically looks like a lot of things, but I think it's being resourceful towards whatever that goal may be, and being innovative in the way that you go about it that aligns with your gifts and your talents, and showcases, or at least put forth a solid work product, school product, whatever that may be. And that's what I would say, that's how you display that critical thinking, and in doing that will also grow those skills for critical thinking.
Yeah, no, thank you. I love the answers you gave with Kyler. You said it kind of let you think by yourself, gave you a project that you go. Alandria, you talked about, being able to ask the right questions, right? Ask the five whys. And then Lionel, you talked about, I love what you said. You said like be resourceful. Like make sure that your ability is how do you accomplish that goal in the best way that's aligned with your strengths. Like those are some key gems right there. But let's switch to this because you got students. Engineering is so broad. Just in this space, we've already mentioned computer engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering. Like it can go on software, biomedical. Like how should a student decide between the different disciplines? Like what for a student to say I wanted to engineer, now they got all these options. They're like, all right, take the next step. How should they go about deciding which discipline is best for them?
Yeah, I can jump in. They've been leading a lot of the other ones, so I'll say
Okay.
the there's a couple of tracks. Two of the more prominent ways that I would recommend they decide is, one, based on some of their passions and figuring out like what is aligned with that. Like I legitimately chose engineering because I heard they made a lot of money, bro. Like that's what started that, and that's I'm in the career now, but then I took it a step further to ask the question of, hey. I like tinkering with stuff. I like putting stuff together. Like, and it's not like I use engineering to screw or to pop something in place or pop something out of place. It was just my desire, like something that I enjoy doing. And so when someone says, okay, well, yeah, structurally, you're doing some different things, that's kind of aligned with mechanical engineering. And so I would say that's more passion oriented. And so in the same way, if it's, hey, I really enjoy serving people, like healthcare is big to me, or there's some linkage in your family, we got a lot of firms here that hire biomedical engineers for different heart and health related equipment and components that would make their life and livelihood more sustainable, or just actually live, some real critical stuff like that. So passion is one side, and then the other I say is maybe just like careers, like talking to people about what it is that they do, and what is work downstream to what they had done to get there, and following that similar path. I mean, I'm in sales, and we got some mechanical engineers, but we also have some bankers who are now doing engineering. And I'm not saying not to do engineering, but it working that opposite way, I think could definitely help. And look at how much these folks get paid. Hey, this brother Kyler just put me down. I had never in my life knew what an actuary does. Shame to say, maybe I'm not, but I've learned that. But it comes from just listening and having those conversations, and knowing what those and being resourceful and looking it up.
Yeah, kind of like what Lionel was saying about having a passion. You have to have a passion for things that you like. For me, I loved tinkering with computers. I liked hacking into passwords, hacking into Wi-Fi back when Wi-Fi was just not always available. My mom would threaten me, be like, the government come get you for hacking into the Wi-Fi, which was, that was a laugh for her, but that just motivated me to just keep going because that's what I wanted to do. That's what I was passionate about. And that's super important because you don't want to go through life doing things that you don't want to do or doing things just because you have to do it. Of course, you still have to do things, but at least have some joy while doing it, and that's super important, especially for me. I really enjoy my job. But also take advantage of the resources that you already have at home. So, like, SCS is wonderful. I was in SCS. Take advantage of those people that you meet in SCS because they can help you get into rooms that you didn't think were available. They can point you to people who will direct you in the path that you want to go into. For me, SCS helped me personally because I never been in a panel interview before, never until SCS. And with that first time I had a panel interview with SCS, now I have panel interviews. Like if I were to go out and have a job interview now, I would have to sit on a panel. And SCS helped me prepare for that because I didn't have any idea back in 2019 that I would have to sit in panel interviews. So take advantage of your resources that you already have at home because that's going to help you in the future. Well, like 1000%. I can tell you that. I've sat in other interviews. I've been in several interviews before. They all have some type of panel. So take advantage of your resources. Take advantage of the things that the city offers. I don't know if they still have this in the city where you have back then it was called like Memphis Ambassadors Program, where you go in as a student, a high school student, and then at the end of your senior year, you can go and do an internship. Take advantage of those internships. Those are things that you can still put on your resume, but those are experiences that you can keep and you can use in the future because internships are so important. I did a lot of internships between high school and college, and all that experience helped me to understand how things work, in the real world. So take advantage of that too. Take advantage of any type of career services that at your school. You need to be at that door all the time. You need to be harassing them. Take initiative to say, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm interested in. Can I do an externship? Can I do an internship? Get some type of experience or try to, get some type of exposure to what you think you may be interested in. Because, speaking from experience, I did an internship and I liked it, but my manager was real with me. He was like, this job is going to stress you out in the future. Like he just told me like, you don't want to do this forever. Do something else, which was great because he saw that I was interested in it, but he showed me what the reality of the situation was with that job. And so, when you have good mentors and good managers during these internships that will be real with you and honest with you, take the advice. You don't have to necessarily follow it, but at least have it in your back pocket or in the back of your head to say, I remember when this happened or whatever. So for me, take advantage of all your resources that you have available and just go forth.
Yeah, Landry, you said a lot of stuff that I was going to say. I'm just piggyback off of a lot of that. Definitely take advantage of whatever school you go to, your career services, because those externships, that's what really got me. Man, you look at my resume or my CV, externship. And if you got to, be a little greedy because, this is about you. This is your experience. I know sometimes they would have leftover externships that nobody picked up. I would have 3 externships over Christmas break, 3 back to back to back. That's how I really met a whole lot of people. And another thing that I talked about earlier, just reaching out to those people or like doing SCS like I did. SCS was like astronomical for my growth. because I've met, like you said, Alandria, the panel interview. I remember doing the panel interview. That's where I figured out a lot of my answers to questions that interviewers ask. And like one I remember, Jeremy. I can't remember who asked me. I think she's running for like the mayor of Arkansas or something right now. I can't remember her name right now.
Audrey Willis.
Yes, yes. She asked me this. She was like, if you could be any color, what color would you be? And that it was like there was no right or wrong to that answer. I mean to that question, but it helped me think. She said she gave me 1 minute to think of my answer, and I gave her a crazy answer. I think I said something like plasma. She was like plasma not a color, but like I mean if you think about it, plasma does have a color. And then she said pair it to like a quality or something like that. I'm like, look, you had red. If red is just I'm smart, and green is I work well with other. Plasma has every color in the rainbow, all of them. I have all of them to some extent. I got all of them, and that was a really good. She said it was a really good way I answered it because that was just another one. But another one was like if you had to explain the color red to a blind person, how would you do it? You know what I'm saying? You want to think about that stuff on your own. SES taught me that. Another thing, Alandria, that you said I'm also going to double down on is mentors. Now, it don't have to be mentors directly from your job or, whatever you do, but you can go out and get your own mentors, like whatever organization you're a part of. You have people on campus, like you can use professors as mentors. You can any of those people that you reach out to, they can be mentors. Or a lot of communities and cities do have certain events that's open to students as well as professionals. Something like ASCE, like that's what we had for Engineering American Society of Civil Engineers. Just take advantage of those opportunities to go meet professionals. Because they have a young professional side, but they also have a professional side. They work side by side with each other. They help you get jobs. They help you get connected. Another one that's really good for Memphis. I've been struggling to get in contact with them. So Jeremy, if you know a contact, you can hit me out. But Nesby, they got a good network too. Just take advantage of those organizations. They have like it's big. The network is big. They pair you with people that what you want to do. If they don't work out, you can hit somebody else up. But like the world is yours, man. The opportunities are out there. You just got to take advantage of them. That'll help you better decide what direction you want to go. Because that's what I did. It really helped me out a whole lot.
Maybe you find somebody in Nesby, can you send them to me too?
Yeah, send them to me because I've been trying since I graduated. I've been trying so hard.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
I need that contact too.
Come back to Memphis. You start the chapter back up.
Uh-oh. Yeah, Nesby is dear to me too, man. In Arkansas, hey, Nesby changed my life, man. So big shouts to Nesby.
Yeah.
Now, and I appreciate them gems, man. Those STS plugs, man. I definitely remember each of you all's journey, and we still got that picture of you and Audrey interviewing. That was one of the pivotal moments of STS, man. So grateful for you all. Another question that I have, switching to the software side, right? Because when these students, they're always trying to figure out what can I be learning now? Like, what can I be learning? What do I need to know now to get ahead? Are there any softwares or tools or certifications that engineering students should begin prioritize learning now before they graduate?
I can start. You got it.
No, you go ahead, Kyler.
Yeah, brother Kyler, man, go on.
Yeah. So a really big one that hit me out is working knowledge of AutoCAD. Like you don't have to know like all the bells and whistles to it, but definitely know how to do some type of CAD. Everybody using a version of CAD, whether it's Revit, whether it's Civil 3D, whether it's stormwater drainage, anything like that. Because CAD is big. Like nobody's really doing a whole lot of by hand stuff nowadays. So if you at least know some type of CAD or some type of design tools that you can use on the computer that gives you a lot of oomph to your application of like what you are able to provide or bring to a team, so they don't have to like teach you from the top up. But something that AutoCAD has that's really nice that I've taken part in that's helped me out, especially learning because we didn't use AutoCAD when I was in CBU. We used what's it called? It's really old. What's the name of it?
You talking about Creo?
No, not that one. It's a different. It's something that TDOT or the Department of Transportation. I can't remember. It's really old. It's like a very small version of AutoCAD, but they have like AutoCAD has a certification you can take. It teaches you. Say it again.
I'm trying to remember what I used back in the Gap. I feel like SolidWorks. I can't think of the name.
Yeah, I can't remember that. It was something. It's something that the DOTs use. But yeah, they AutoCAD has a little class you could take. It teaches you like all the base tools and all that good stuff. And if you wanted to be big and bad, you can pay for the
Yeah.
certification for finishing the class. So that's a really good thing you can drop on your resume, or you put that on your LinkedIn so people can verify that you did it.
Yeah, the one that comes to mind for me is Lean Six Sigma. Six Sigma is huge, especially in manufacturing. If you're in manufacturing, go ahead and get your Lean Six Sigma yellow. You can start with the yellow belt. It's really simple. Um, I don't remember how much it cost because Christian Brothers paid for it when I was going through. But I'm pretty sure you can probably get a discount as a student, and it could be free. Um, but Six Sigma is huge. That's part. I have my Six Sigma yellow belt and green belt, and I'm currently working on my black belt. So you want to definitely use Six Sigma because it's lean methodology basically. Um, is and lean is just like how to make things as simple and as clear as possible. That's all that lean is. It's real self-explanatory, but Six Sigma is a big thing in manufacturing. So if you're interested in going into manufacturing, Lean Six Sigma will be your best friend because you'll learn so much from that because you can apply that to any industry. You don't have not just automotive, not just manufacturing. Other businesses use lean manufacturing a lot. I mean, Lean Six Sigma to for different reasons, different purposes. So I'm big on pushing Lean Six Sigma methodology.
Yeah, I don't have as good. I'm almost maybe not even software. I would just say like soft skills stuff, like go be a part of an organization, like go join NSBE, the pre collegiate initiative PCI, like find a PCI chapter to be a part of. I would say, whatever these different youth organizations, student council, things that kind of get you in front of some other people to just develop your soft skills. Like being able to communicate is so underrated. And I think we take it for granted, but some of the most effective communicators often are chosen for a number of things. And it's largely because they kind of just talk the game. So being able to articulate certain perspectives and things, I think is really important. So let's keep developing those soft skills. But I'm also again biased. I'm in a soft skills lane. So
Jeremy, I wanted to add one more thing to that type of things. I skipped it. Two things that'll set you apart from the people is getting the OSHA 10 certification. If you really want, I mean, that's a really good one. And the FE. Now I know a lot of industries
oh
don't
yeah,
really tell folks to get the FE, but I promise you, you get the FE, you
break
can
that
pretty
down,
much.
but boss, tell them what that is.
Okay, the FE is just
Fundamentals
the
of
yeah, it's the
fundamentals of engineering.
fundamentals
Yeah.
of engineering. It's the fundamentals of engineering exam. It's a don't let this scare you, but it is an 8 hour, no, 8 hour SP. It's a 6 hour exam. Can't remember how many questions. I think it's like 110 questions, but it's like broad over everything you did in mechanical, electrical, civil. But they have study guides for it on the NCEES website. But the FE is basically it'll let your employer know that you have the thought in your mind to become a professional engineer. And when you have that PE, you can go work in pretty much any state unless they have some type of regulation or where you have to take an extra exam if they have like for between Memphis or between Tennessee and somewhere like Wisconsin, you got to learn about snow because they actually get more snow up there. Or if you are a structural engineer and move from Tennessee to California, you got to go get some more seismic stuff done because they have earthquakes and then they also have wildfires. So you got to be able to have that knowledge of those things, but that'll definitely open it up. Like it opened the gates wide open because if people are not getting FE no more, people are definitely not getting PE either because they just want to get the degree and go. And that'll definitely put you at the top of the food chain, or at least in the middle of the food chain of people who don't get the FE and people who have the PE.
Man, I remember.
That's very important.
Yeah, but I'm about to say, man, Kyler, I remember your decision to go and study for the FE. Like, and it was a negotiation tactic. We were talking about. I want to get too deep into it.
Oh yeah,
Going back and forth, we was like, "Hey, man, I'm trying to get this bag," and it was. a negotiation tool. But like, man, then Alandria, you talked about Six Sigma, man. You know, I definitely want to reinforce that, y'all. Six Sigma is all about efficiency. Like if you can eliminate waste in a process, you saving time, money, resources. Like if you could just learn the concept of eliminating waste,
Mm-hmm.
being more efficient, you can put it in your life. Like your life, just
Mm-hmm.
it's an endless opportunities to be efficient in everything you do. From how you wake up and take and go to work to eliminating waste in the process. Like that is so valuable. And then Lonnie, you talked about communication skills. I know we were talking about software, but communication, y'all, outside of critical thinking, companies say that communication, both verbal, nonverbal, interpersonal communication is probably the number one struggle for individuals today. And maybe it's because we came out of COVID, everybody was kind of back to themselves, right? We got to work from home, everybody can kind of be on their own, but y'all, the ability to develop communication skills, and then that'll lead into our next question about career progression. But I always tell students that if you want to get the big bucks, you're either gonna be a specialist or you're gonna be a people leader. And they don't pay you to be a people leader because of your technical skills. They pay you to be a people leader because of your soft skills and your ability to influence and lead through others. So that skill set is so critical. But going to that next question about, for students trying to understand, like, what does career progression look like from engineering? Like, you got the technical track, you got the management track. Lionel, you're in sales. Like, what does a career progression look like in engineering?
So, so for me, um, started off with a training program, right, to kind of expose me to the different things that I would need to know to be able to do my job. And having moved from that training program, I kind of got rolled into like an entry level sales position, which is not too dissimilar from other industries. Like they're going to train you first, give you some type of onboarding, and then throw you to the proverbial fire. Um, and from there, is it your then opportunity, like your full authority to learn what it takes to progress to that level, and how fast you progress to that level often is determined by your level of output, like what it is that they need from you, how fast you do it, how well you do it. Both the quantity and quality of your output will determine, I think, what the different steps are. And so for me, entry level sales to, like, they call them, like, it went from maybe like a sales representative, and then they went to an account executive, and then it's a senior account executive, and then you can move up to a director, and you be kind of more of a managerial type role, or you could be a director of like business development, still an individual contributor role. But a lot of the stuff on the sales path is individual contributor, and it by itself has, some progression. And then the managerial side would be where you're managing some individual contributors. And then from that role, you'd be managing some managers of individual contributors, and then to keep going up to managers of managers, and all the way up to VP. And you land into the C-suite, and there's different, roles and things, and senior vice president, executive vice president, all of those tiers, I would say, in my lane.
For my lane, mine is similar to Lionel. So you can start off in the my job offers a leadership development program where you rotate to different positions every year for 3 years. At the end of your 3 years, you can choose where you want to be. You can be in quality, you can be in engineering, you can be in production, whatever, which one that fits you the most, that's what you'll go into at the end of your after the end of all the trainings and stuff like that. And then so like for me, I went through, like, I was a material planner, I was a production supervisor, then I got into industrial engineering. I stayed in industrial engineering, and then with that piece, I was just managing production. That was my area. That was my expertise. I wasn't doing any other area in the plant. Production was which was assembly. So that's all I did. And then I ended up progressing from that to still in the same role, but kind of like a coordinator kind of role, because now I'm coaching supervisors. So I don't just focus strictly on assembly anymore. I'm focusing on that, and I'm coaching supervisors at the same time. And then the next step would be coordinator, and then the step after that would be manager. And then it just goes up from there. You can be the regional director, you can go to the VP, whichever one that fits you. You know, it just depends on what you want, what level of responsibility really that you want to take on, because you know, the higher you go, the more responsibility you have. Personally, like, I'm kind of in a sweet spot where I'm between kind of in the coordinator position, just a step away from a manager, but I don't want the manager. I'm okay with the coordinator for right now, because but that's just me, you know, just coordinator. I'm good. I don't need anything else. I don't want to be responsible for anybody. I'm okay. But that's kind of the how it would go if you were to go into it.
Okay. For myself, I work for a private firm, so the progression is a little bit different. At least for my specific firm, they push for us all to get the our license, so the FEP, and for the PE, you have to work for 4 years before you can, take the PE exam. Which that's where I am right now in my career. So you start off, just a graduate engineer. Then right above you would be like a staff engineer. That's somebody that has 5+ years. They're in that PE range. They have the technical experience, they have some leadership experience. They lead some projects, and they do all the mentoring for the younger engineers like myself. Then above the staff engineer, you have something like lead engineers, you have senior engineers, principal engineers, VP, directors, stuff like that. That's people who probably more like headhunting for projects. You have people who are leading full departments, some with seats at the table, like voting on company things. So the higher up in my company, kind of like the less engineering you start to do, you ended up on the management side, where you're dealing with, talking to project owners, being the face at a lot of city things, or you do a lot of traveling, going to all these different states where you have your license in to, get projects. And a lot of that has to do with cost estimating, some big decisions, moving some things around for certain products, or a certain type of uh, parts of the contract where we sub out. So I know for some of our contracts with the city of Memphis, that's my superior. His job is to figure out who we are subbing out our survey work to. Since you have to sub out that stuff to a minority firm, we can't do that kind of thing. But to get up there, you have to have to output definitely soft skills. So definitely have a whole lot of talking. Everybody I know that's in leadership positions in the company they do a lot of talking. They have some really good soft skills. They know a lot of people, really deep connections, deep rooted in Memphis engineering community, period. And something else that comes with just the title is that you have to be at, conferences, you have to be at a lot of big meetings or things like that. Or you can stay on the technical side, like a lot of folks, really good on AutoCAD, you're really good with drafting. You're really high into like AutoCAD. For my department, we have a few guys who are strictly on the technical side, so they know all the ins and out of AutoCAD. They know about all the AI stuff that's going into AutoCAD. They do a lot of our trial and error things, and they kind of create manuals for the company to kind of put everybody on game, or like what's working and what's not working. So you can pick whatever side. They both have their pros and cons. If you want to be really, really busy, you can take the managerial side of things. You probably start doing less engineering the higher up you get. But if you're on the technical side, you're probably going to be, pulling your hair out, because you may have a whole lot of deadlines that's on your back because you are the technical guy. But that's just, if that's your kind of party, that's your kind of party. That's my kind of party. That's what I want. I want to be grinding for. Give me a couple more years. Maybe I'll go to the managerial side later. But I like the grind right now.
Go get it. Go get it. You and Alandria, man. Go get it.
Look, man, go
And me too. I need to go get it. We all need to go get it.
look, man,
Oh, yeah.
go get that money.
One young.
You know what I'm saying? Now, one thing that I know about each of you, man, y'all driven. Like y'all are determined. You don't let a challenge scare you. And that's typical. Like that's a typical characteristic of an engineer. So like what advice would you give students on how to handle failure when they're doing engineer, whether it's an engineer project, whether it's a class, because something didn't work out the way they expected. Like typically, if you're in this space, you're a person of confidence. You're a person that believes in your ability, but failure is part of the journey. Like, so how would y'all? Because some people they fail and they crash out. Like they have little moments. So, what advice would you give to that student who's like, man, how did this happen? Like, I did everything right. How do they handle failure?
So for me, I remember when I failed my first test, my first engineering test. I ain't gonna lie, I crashed out. I did. I thought it was the end of the world. I thought everything was just terrible. Like, I'm terrible. I felt dumb. I felt stupid. I mean, the whole 9 yards. I was just I was definitely over dramatic about it. I'm not gonna lie. I was very over dramatic about it. And I moped around for like 2, 3 days. And honestly, it was my mom that was like, all right, wrap this up. Wrap this up. You need to do something about it. What do you need? What resources do you need to go to figure this out? Like, you failed, okay, it happened, move on. What are you going to do different in the future? So my advice would be like, okay, go ahead and cry about it if you need to cry. Crash out if you need to. I get it, but don't stay in that space for too long. Like, me being in that space for 2, 3 days was crazy. Like, no, get up, dust your shoes off, dust yourself off, and go get help. It's okay to ask
Mm-hmm.
for help. You may need a tutor. That's totally fine. It's not the end of the world. You're not dumb. You're not stupid. You just need some extra help. But don't stay in that place, or don't stay in that failure mode. Like, yeah, you failed, crash out, cry, do whatever, let it all out. And then be like, okay, what do I need to do next time? What do I need to do different? Take that as a lesson and be like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
how can I do this different next time? And move on. Wrap that up. Like, don't dwindle on the
Mm-hmm.
past, because you can't do nothing about it. Move forward. And for me, I prayed about it and then I left it alone, and then I moved on to something else. I got my help, I got a tutor, and
Mm-hmm.
moved on. And I was better the next time. It was just one test. It wasn't like, oh, I failed all the tests. It was just one. But it's okay to fail. That's how you learn. That's really how you learn. And that's just for me.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree with a lot of stuff you said, Alandra. Actually, really, most of it. I still remember how I failed my first exam. MicroStation. That's the name of the software. MicroStation. T-Dot used that. Glad I thought about it, because that was the class I had got an F on. F on one of my exams, and like at the time, like I was just kind of in school, kind of just lonely. I didn't go to college with people I knew. I was just kind of out there, just by myself. But something I would highly recommend, because I know a lot of people who go into engineering are probably the smartest people in their schools. Like, you A's all through high school, maybe middle school too. You were super smart. So failing the exam, you don't know how to act when it happens. So that's why the crash out is essential. But once I got the handle on how the engineering world should work, or at least in school, definitely, number one, you need to answer to some higher power. I don't know what religion y'all folks got, but open the book, read it. That's number one. But number two, definitely have a community, whether it's people in engineering with you, or some friends or some family, people that actually want to see you win. Because sometimes you just need to go talk to somebody. They may have some wisdom for you. That's definitely worked out for me. As well as a small crash out, which my crash out could just literally go on a walk and probably leave my phone at home. That's crazy. That's a crash out to me. Try to be calm with it. But another really good thing I keep in the back of my head is that failure is just another opportunity to learn. You learn from how you went
Mhm.
wrong, or what went wrong, and you kind of you kind of learn as you go. Especially in engineering, like, you're not gonna come out of school knowing everything. Your degree is just saying that you can persevere. That's literally all that says. You can persevere when you are faced with a challenge. That's really all engineering is. It's challenge. The whole career is challenge. You gotta persevere through it. And once I got into it, like, I was like, oh, I didn't learn any of this in school. I'm frustrated and I was getting things wrong, left and right. But the beauty, like literally the beauty of it is that I'm failing, but I'm learning as I'm failing. But oh, this is not how this works. This is how it works out here in practice. Cool. And you just keep on going. You keep on stacking your knowledge, and you keep on just taking note on what works and what don't work, and what's correct and what's wrong.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, hard to kind of go in any other direction. I mean, it's a part of life. I think it's important to also just like have context of what like failure actually is. You know, like every business that you've seen, like it's probably not every business, every person has failed in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Like businesses fail with intention. Like failure provides you like data, you know, and without that data, you can't really grow from it, you know. And then to think about failure, even like in sports, would it be a failure, you know, for Steph Curry to have missed more than half of his shots? You know, like he shot 10,000 threes and only made 4,200 of them, you know. Is that a failure? Like he's still Steph Curry, you know, but it's the time that he's put into it that has grown him into being the most prolific shooter we've ever seen. And in the same way that you yourself as an individual will grow and continue to grow, you need those hard conversations. You need those different things to help show, you know, grow and mold you into who you ultimately could be in this world. And I definitely got to salute my boy Kyler, man. Definitely, you know, a man of faith myself. That is my foundation. I think has been incredibly valuable as well. And I mean, just all the glory belongs to him, honestly. So, yeah, man, failure is a part of it, and it's minuscule in the grand scheme of what your life will ultimately yield. Like today's failure is, you know, is next week's blessing that you learned it, you know. So just be prepared for sure.
Yeah, we about to get ready to wrap it up. You guys have been dropping some gems this entire time. And again, I really appreciate and I hope that the students that hear this, they'll understand that as long as they stay in the game, don't take yourself out the game. If you stay in the game and you still got a chance. But there are some game changing things that are happening that are impacting every space, and we can't, not talk about this. But how is AI and automation impacting the engineering the engineering space right now? Now, Linda, she done lean back. She said, "Long." Now, she done had a moment. But
I did. That was so triggering for me.
how is it impacting the engineering space today?
Oh my goodness. I think if you're going into any type of manufacturing, go ahead and be proactive and learn AI.
Mm-hmm.
Learn it. You may not like it. I don't too much care for it, but get some exposure because that's what the world is turning to. So in my plant, we do a lot of automation. Most of the things that we do is robotics. So we have a flex line, which is a line just full of robots. They do welding, they do screws, they put in clips, they do all types of stuff. And if you want to go like into process engineering, you essentially have to learn how to program these robots. You will have to learn how they function, how they work. You will need to be able to troubleshoot anything that happens in these robots. And not just that, you have AGVs, which are the little small robots that transport things all around the plant. Those things are super important. They are super essential to any type of, if you are going into engineering, you need to learn that. It's essential because that's what the world is turning to, especially in manufacturing. They're trying to have as least human hands on things as possible. They only want the minimum. They want the
Mm-hmm.
robots to do the maximum. So go ahead. If you are not into programming, get into programming. Python, CAD. I know we use, like, for the process engineers here, when I talk to them, they use Python and they use MATLAB. Those are essential. So, I
MATLAB is
mean,
crazy.
I don't know if it's for like an older system. They don't use it for like the newer stuff. They use Python for the newer stuff, but older systems, they still use MATLAB, unfortunately. So Python is your friend though. That's like the basis of a lot of things. So I would suggest that.
For us on my side of engineering, I would say you probably need to have a very, very confident working knowledge of what you're doing. Some The biggest thing that we've seen in AI for what I do for work is in land grading. We have this thing called gradient optimization gradient optimization, and it does all the grading for you. But you have to know the parameters, so you have to know your stuff, but it does make it quicker. But something that's saving us right now because they have like a back and forth thing with OpenAI going on right now between AutoCAD and a lot of these companies is that if you use AI to do, certain modeling and certain grading, it's out there, right? But most of our projects are confidential. So like that's going against a lot of contract stuff. And so like right now that's kind of saving us. So like if they figure that out, it's up. So when that happens, but I agree with Alandria. Definitely be proactive in learning. Definitely be fluid to move between different areas of your discipline or have interest in, just a number of things. So like something I've done for myself, I just started talking to people, just asking like what niche needs to be filled. Like there's something out here that somebody's not doing. And this is why I picked up land surveying, because there is a very, very, very big shortage for land surveyors. Like engineers in Tennessee is like 30,000 engineers. Surveyors, there's 1,100 surveyors in Tennessee, and that's the people that can actually do the work, the important work, and that's a very big gap. So there's a big opening in those areas. And there's some areas where AI is going to take a long time for AI to be able to be like, yeah, I'm taking your job, but you have to figure out figure out where in the market that AI is not going to win, at least for as long as you're alive, or at least the next 10 years. Uh, but but tying back into Atlanta, definitely learn some coding, some type of coding, or or keep up with whatever software your job uses, keep up with how they're changing things, how things are becoming automated. So you'll still be useful because you still have to have working knowledge of how the stuff work on the basic level, because you got to put in all the parameters and know what it looks like when it's right or what it looks like when it's wrong.
Yeah, not too much to add. Definitely have a working knowledge of some of the more widely used AI. I mean, just even for just basic productivity stuff. Like, I mean, I use it for work. I'm sure they're using it for work as well. It's not going anywhere. It's a worthy and worthwhile investment, and it's a differentiator for those who don't know how to use it in comparison to those who do. So, in a very basic way, I would say absolutely leverage it, learn it, get more comfortable with it. It is going to be a part of our infrastructure, our business infrastructure moving forward for sure.
All right, we better get ready to wrap this thing up. Now, we can't leave without talking about what students want to know the most. So this is gonna be rapid fire, and we're gonna get ready to get up out of here. All right. The question is the bag worth it? Is the bag as an engineer worth all the stuff you had to go through?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody that's a base level engineer,
Yeah.
you definitely make more than the average Niffian. So yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's totally worth it. I mean, yeah.
All right.
Yes.
yeah, yeah, for
And
sure, no doubt.
we asked that question because as we've been doing SCS 14 years now, we found out like to help students truly create economic mobility, we have to help them choose better careers. Right? And
Yeah,
they can't choose careers based off is it hard, how much money does it pay, and do I gotta go to school for how many years? Like, but they also need to know that hey, the money worth it. Like it's worth the struggle. What math class almost took you out? Like what almost made you, man, reconsider?
man.
And so,
Calculus two, calculus two, brother. Tell you right now, I wound up taking that class at a community college. Talk about like being innovative to finish schools. I took my calculus two class at Northwest Arkansas Community College. Shouts NWAC. you know. Great institution, but the University of Arkansas, they told me it was a weed out class, it was the real deal, and so I said, "Hey, man, let me try to play it smart here," and it still worked out. But yeah, no, that one is definitely brutal. And Jeremy, if you wanted to know like bandwidth on like the income stuff, maybe they can add some color to it as well. But I mean, I'm thinking anywhere between 75. South of 75, 60 some odd $1,000, upwards of, two plus for different roles as you progress throughout your career. Not maybe right off the bat. There are some engineering roles that right off the bat you'll make the six figures, you'll make the 150, and be progressing your way on up. And I'll put a little honey in some of the folks' ears. I mean, some sales engineers can make even more than some of that, but depending on what you kill. So yeah, absolutely. But yeah, sorry to go back to your original question.
But no, I said big bag. You said don't be worried. Like, hey, you gonna be straight. You said you
Yeah,
come
man. No, I'm just trying to make some Kyler money, man. Some Kyler and Alandria money, man. I'll be all right.
But I said Kyler came on with, I don't know what type of shades to be, but them shades, they
The
fine.
red glare, yeah,
Nah, yeah,
they
they
haven't been released yet. Them haven't been released
nah
yet.
nah. It's an infrared coding, so like AI devices can't read your eyes.
See, that's some next level.
See,
Look,
I ain't
you
look
know
my
what I'm
eye.
saying?
Look at
What
my eyes.
they
They
got
red. Look at that. My
there?
AI done read my eyes. Already above me.
Last two questions. I'm gonna give y'all the floor to give us any final words. But like, be honest, y'all. Do y'all feel like both rooms you walk in, you the smartest in the room?
No.
Can you ask the question again?
I said, do y'all feel like y'all like in most circles y'all the smartest? Not with your non-engineer friends, but like outside of your engineer friends, like when you walk in the room, do you feel like are you the smartest in the room because you're an engineer?
No.
Honestly, I ain't gonna lie to
people
you.
may think.
Depending on what room I'm in, I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes I'm like, all right, I'm smarter than everybody in here. But
Mm-hmm.
but most times I don't think like that. I'm pretty humble about it because I struggled across the finish line, but I still made it. But nah, not all the time.
Then that's me too. Like me, I'm the same. Like it's even meetings at work. I'm like, oh, I'm the only one that got sense in here. Got great. Got it. I already know. I already know what I'm coming into. But genuinely speaking, no, I don't think I'm the smartest in the room just because of my profession.
Okay.
No.
But what about you, Lionel?
No, heck no. I mean, I don't even, my brain really doesn't orient it that way. And if it ever is kind of shifting there, I try to course correct, man, because we all, what is the smartest person in the room to them? Wisdom is
Yeah.
much more valuable than wealth and all of those things. And wisdom
Mm-hmm.
will teach you that, being the smartest ain't necessarily the best thing to always be. So,
Mm-hmm.
but no, I mean, I in some circles, people may assume that, but just try to be regular, degular.
Yeah. And I asked that question because I was doing my research and it said that 1 in 3 Fortune 500 CEOs like study engineering. So like there has to be a level of confidence, a little level of arrogance that come you know, with that. But last question, when it's all said and done, um, what do you hope what has your decision of being an engineer afforded you the most? Like what has it afforded you the most? Whether it be personally, professionally, that decision to become an engineer.
Now, of what led me to be engineer, or
No,
what like what
no.
has afforded me?
Like what has it afforded you? Like the
Yeah,
fact that you look the most
optionality, optionality. The fact that there are several fields unrelated to engineering and related to
Mm-hmm.
engineering that people will be
Mm-hmm.
willing to hire you for because you have a certain skill set and a degree,
Yep.
bar
And
none.
yep. And
Yes.
I'm a go his direction too. 'Cause like I said to y'all, my degree is in civil engineering. But I'm also pursuing surveying. But because I'm a engineer and a surveyor, people are like, hey, look, we'll give you $250,000 right now.
Mm,
So it gave you the option. Like if I was just a surveyor, I'm like, all right, we'll probably give you 80. Or if I was just an engineer, like, all right, we give you like 110. But like having both disciplines under your belt is like, hey, we finna give it to you. But like this your show. You got it. Whatever you want, you got it.
mm.
And yeah, to tag along to that, like I got my degree in engineering management. So I can go into engineering or I can go into business. I can even go into packaging engineering because I have some experience in packaging as well. So having the flexibility to be able to go into any type of discipline really that I want to go in is really great for me because I don't have to stay in automotive. I can go to any other industry that I choose to go to. You know, the flexibility is wonderful. Like especially for me, since I have both my master's and bachelor's in it, just knowing I have business experience, I can go into any other industry, which, you know, if anybody's hiring outside of automotive, let me know. Not in Memphis, though. Not in Memphis. No, no
Now,
Memphis.
No,
don't
we
do
got
it.
to get you
Oh
back to the
I
man.
gotta,
M now.
Oh,
no, no,
oh, man,
no,
don't do that. Don't
no.
do that.
I
No, look,
gotta
man,
go.
look. Now,
I ain't
Landry.
gotta stay in
Look.
Nashville, but I can't stay in
Now,
Tennessee.
now, Landry. Now, they done got on Anthony Edwards. They done got on, what you call for talking about Memphis. I don't want you to get that, you know.
No, no,
Let's, let's,
nothing bad. I'm not saying nothing bad about me.
okay,
Memphis is
okay.
wonderful. No, no, I'm not saying it's just for me personally.
Yeah,
I love coming home to the food, especially like Dixie Queen is gonna get me right every time.
every
Uh,
time.
but for me personally, I'm trying to get out of the South, period. That's my goal, my future goal. I want to get out of the South. So nothing against Memphis at all, because Memphis is great. Memphis is wonderful. Just I need to get out of the South.
Gotcha. I know some of you got some hard stops. So, any final words to the students that hear this, and we're gonna get you out of here. Any final words? Lionel, we'll start with you.
Man, if it's too easy, it's not something you want to kind of pursue. Like you want to challenge yourself. And as you grow older, you will, I mean, just look, and even myself, like I think back to the days when I was in college, like I wish I would have given it more of an effort because it would have opened even more doors of experience and exposure. So do not stop at what is the easiest or what is like feels the most comfortable. Like those failure opportunities, chase after them actually. Like the sooner you fail, the faster you're learning. So like you'll only be able to do that if you chase after hard things. So do the tough thing. Don't settle for the easy thing. That's all I would say.
All right. Anybody else?
When it gets challenging, keep going. Don't stop. Use it as a lesson. You know, do whatever your crash out looks like, crash out, but don't stop. Keep going. Don't ever stop.
You know.
And bring us on home, Kyler. All
I
right,
got
Lionel,
you.
brother Kyler.
Uh,
Bring us
Moneybag
on
collar, man. Bring us home, man.
home.
I would say do today what your future self would be proud of you for doing. But by any means, do what scares you. Do what you're afraid of. But that thing that you're scared of is probably going to be a breakthrough. So if engineering scares you, the future of engineering scares you in a good way type of scare you, go do it. I'm pretty sure it's going to pay off for you. It's paying off for everybody that's on this call.
Mm. Well, look, man, I can't say thank you enough. I really appreciate you all giving us your time. I know we got to get out of here. So, again, on behalf of STS, our board of directors, our sponsors, we want to say thank you for your time. We really appreciate all the insight and gems that you all dropped today. And then until next time, this is another episode of So You Want to Be Career Series. And today we talked about engineering. All right.
Thank you,
Thank
Jeremy.
y'all for
Great
that.
job, Jeremy.
Thank
We love the
you.
platform.
Hey, man,
Yes,
you know,
thank you.
Appreciate
y'all
you, my good brother.
y'all made it easy. All right.